तस्या ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुं श्रीरूपा गजसागर रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवसाद्वैतं सवधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपदसागर ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितं हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगपते गोपीश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कंचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी विष्णुभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिय पंचकामपतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे। So you are welcome to another section. Let's continue. Okay.
The memorization, Prabhu, recitation.
Please go ahead.
Okay. Chapter 10, verse 3. Yamama jamanagim cha vichilukamaisvaram satmadha samartiso sarva papai pramochate. Translation. He who knows me as the unborn, as the beginningless, as the supreme Lord of all the worlds, the only undiluted among men, is freed from all sins. Verse 7. Itam vibhutim yogam cha amayavati tatvatah siddhikalpena yogena yogyatina trasamsaya. Translation. One who is factually convinced of this opulence is mystic power of mind, engages in an alloyed devotional service. Of this, there is no doubt. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Next.
I'll go next, Prabhu.
Yes, please, Mata.
Chapter 10, verse 3. Yomamajamanadim cha vitilokamaheswaram asamada samartyasho sarva papai pramuchate. Translation. He who knows me as the unborn, as the beginningless, as the supreme Lord of all the world, he only, undiluted among men, is freed from all sins. Chapter 10, verse 7. Itam vibhutim yogam shamamayo viditatvata savikalpena yogena yujatinata samsaya. Translation. One who is factually convinced of this opulence and mystic power of mind engages in unalloyed devotional service. Of this there is no doubt. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. It was so fast. Next. Yeah, you're becoming very expert in recitation. All of you are reciting very fast now. Okay, let's go. Who is going next? We don't want to waste so much time on this.
I'll go next, Prabhu. Okay?
Yeah.
Chapter 10, text 3. Yomamajamanadim cha vetilokamaheshwaram asamudha samartyashu sarva papai pramuchate. Translation. One who knows me, he who knows me as the unborn, as the beginningless, as the supreme Lord of all the worlds, he only, undiluted among men, is freed from all sins. Chapter 10, text 7. Nitam vibhutim yogam cha mama yovete tatvatah sovikalpena yogena yujatina trasamshaya. Translation. One who is factually convinced of this opulence and mystic power of mind engages in an alloyed devotional service. Of this there is no doubt. Hare Krishna.
Very much. So fast. Next. We don't want to be calling next.
Okay,
Okay. When people just are not, I will just go on and end with the teaching. Okay, please go, Mata. If I see that nobody is just reciting, I will just go ahead with the class. Please go ahead, because we don't want to waste so much time in recitation.
Yomamajamanadim cha vetilokamaheshwaram asamudha samartyeshu sarva papi pramuchate. Translation. He who knows me as the unborn, beginningless, and the supreme lord of all the worlds. He only, undiluted among the men, is freed from all the sins. 10.7. Etvam vibhutim yogam cha mama yoveti tatvata so vikalpena yogena yujyate natra samshaya. Translation: one who is factually convinced of this opulence and mystic power of mind engages in unalloyed devotional service. Of this there is no doubt. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
I'll go, Prabhu.
Yes, please go ahead.
Yo mamajam manadim cha vetti lokamaheshwaram asamruda samarteshu sarva papaiha pramushyate. Translation: he who knows me as unborn, as the beginningless, as the supreme lord of all the worlds, he is undiluted among all the men, he is freed from all the sins. 10.7. Etam vibhutim yogam cha mama yo vetti tatvatah so vaikalpena yogena yujyate natra samsayaha. Translation: one who is factually convinced with the opulence and mystic power of mind is unalloyed in devotional service. From of those there is no doubt. Hare Krishna.
Of this, there is no doubt. One thing is to memorize. One thing is to understand your memorization. Because if you forget one word, you forget the whole entire write-up. See, of this, there is no doubt. It's a very direct statement. But because you forget just one word, you don't even know that is what you are supposed to say. So understand the statement, then memorize it. It's easier for you. Of this, there is no doubt. It's a very straightforward meaning that if you remember the meaning, you can just say it. Of this, there is no doubt. But if I memorize this now, then I forget this. I forget this, then I forget the remaining one. So of this, there is no doubt means it's sure. Of this, there is no doubt. So let's understand the statement, then memorize, okay? Thank you very much.
Yes, Prabhu. I just came from the temple, Prabhu. I'm in rush.
Which temple is that?
Hindu temple, Prabhu.
Is it in Manila, yeah?
Yes, Prabhu, yes.
Oh, sorry. So you are rushing?
Yeah, I came just now only, that's why.
Oh, it's all right. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, I just felt like telling that let us try to understand the statement. Like that is why I prefer we understand line by line. Yo, mam, ajam, anadim, cha. What is the meaning of yo? What is the meaning of mam? What is the meaning of aja? What is the meaning of anadim? Yo, mam, ajam, anadim, cha. Aja means unborn. Anadim means beginningless. Veti means to know. Sarva loka means of the planets, or Veti lokas, Sarva is Veti lokas maheshwaram. To know the one who is the master of all the planets. Ajam, unborn, beginningless. So to know the one who is unborn, who is beginningless, who is the master of all the planets and the Lord. Asamudra Samariteshu, unbewildered among those who are destined to die. Mariteshu means human beings who are destined to die. Mariteshu, humans. Asamudra Samariteshu, Sarva papai. What is sarva? All. Papai, sin. Pramuchate is gone. Sarva papai, pramuchate. So let us understand the statement, then it's easier for us to memorize the shloka. When we understand it, it becomes more easier. We are struggling because we are not understanding what we are memorizing. So let us understand what we are memorizing. It becomes more easier. I'm not talking to you, Lakshmi Mata. I'm just talking in general.
Yeah,
sorry that I have to start from your side.
It's okay. It's okay.
It look as if I'm talking to you. No.
No,
I'm
no,
talking
Prabhu.
because in general, many are doing the same. When they forget one word, they forget everything. That is what happened to memorization. When you memorize without understanding, When you forget one word, you forget everything. When you memorize with understanding, even when you forget the words, because you understand the statement, you can complete it because you understand it or understood, whatever. Okay, let's continue. Someone else want to try, or we just go straight to the class? So, Mother Nikki, you want to summarize what we did yesterday?
Prabhu, I'll do it for today's class.
I like that. Let's go, please.
I'll just try, Prabhu. So
Yeah,
I'm just gonna read.
Try, please.
Yeah, I'm just gonna read my notes.
Please go ahead.
So, yeah, so Prabhu, so yesterday it was given, you gave the chapter 8 to be memorized by tomorrow. Verse 8 by tomorrow. And then with regards to the other verses, the verse 8, it was entirely explained by Srila Prabhupada on how can we execute, or how can we know our relationship with God, or how we can know the relationship with Shri Krishna. And also we have an exploration with regards to verse 11. So actually you skip some of it, like after verse 8, then you went to chapter 11 because you said, verse 11, because you said you didn't want to give us more ideas on how to figure out which one is for the 3 spiritual advancement, where do they fall down. So basically in this one, in a purport, it was highlighted how the pure devotees become fully absorbed in Krishna, deriving satisfaction from constantly glorifying and discussing all the activities or his pastimes. And then also with regards to verse 10, you actually give emphasis to Buddhi Yoga, or the intelligence, because this one actually leads us to Bhakti Yoga. So when we know about God, then it could help us learn and develop our love for Shri Krishna. And then also there was in the purport, it was explained like what is Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, and Bhakti Yoga. So these are all explained in the previous verses with our class, so I don't have to deal more about that one. And then also we had a discussion with regards to the sincerity and how you can be sincere in your devotional service, or how can you show sincerity to your devotional service. So we had a discussion with regards to that in our group. All right. And then also you again emphasized on how we can you emphasized the 2 things that we must not forget. Don't stop laughing, Nikki. 2 things we must not forget.
We got you. That is why we are all laughing. We got you. Go ahead.
Sincerity and steadiness. So sincerity and steadiness. So that's the 2 things that we must not forget in our practice. So basically this is my notations for the class yesterday. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. Yeah, so it's good to have a variety of devotees summarizing the class. Thank you very much for doing today. I really appreciate it, and it's very inspiring and encouraging. Okay, but we were laughing because we caught you red-handed. You say you guys were discussing in the group. Which group?
No, this group, this class, we were discussing yesterday in this class itself. Not in
sure?
this. Yes.
Or do you people have separate group outside the class? That's why Nikki was laughing. Yes.
No, the only thing that me and Mother Nikki said was that we're actually like we were talking like, oh, I should do the summary for tomorrow, because she said like, can you do it for tomorrow? I said okay, no problem.
Because I'm sick of hearing my voice and my face. I don't like.
No, it's okay. I understand. So
we love variety.
I can be a very good detective. Now I begin to understand what is going on in the background. Very good. Thank you very much. I got some of what was going on in the background. Thank you. If I want to know more, I know what question to ask again. Then I will know more. But it's okay for now. Thank you. Now I understand. Thank you very much for the summary today. Okay. So thank you for we also discussing about how to make sure that everybody participates in the summary. Really appreciate that. Okay. So let's continue. So now is a presentation time. Who is going to go first? And like I said, we already discussed how we do our how to be a judge, how to give devotee feedback. We already discussed that before. I don't want to go so much detail into that so that we don't waste so much time. So, when the devotee is presenting, all of us, we are going to be the judge. We are going to listen very attentively. If you like, also you can ask questions at the end of his presentation. Then I may call anyone to give feedback. And already we discussed how to give feedback to devotees, okay? And so I can call anyone to give feedback. So just listen attentively, I can call your name. So who's going to start?
Prabhu, I think everyone thought that the feedback is going to be from the last summary only, not today.
No. This is a presentation, it's still going to be the same. Don't worry yourself, it's very good. I'm not hearing you, you are muted. Malanyarika,
No,
we are not
Prabhu,
hearing
I'm
you, you are
just
muted.
talking to myself.
Ah?
I'm just talking to myself.
It's all right. Okay, let's continue. So who is going to start? We're going to break the ice. No one wants to start. Why?
Prabhu, how long is this gonna be? 5 minutes still?
5 minutes. Or we
Oh
can make
no.
it. We can make it 3 minutes.
It's not gonna be 3 minutes. Prabhu, 5 minutes would be fine. I
5
might
minutes. Okay. 5 minutes. Yes, 5 minutes. Okay. So who wants to start? That is most important thing now.
Okay, Prabhu, I'll start.
Very good. Thank you for that. And for you starting, you get 10 marks extra.
Yes.
So whatever mark you are going to get, you already got 10 marks. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Okay, let me start. Let me share my screen. 1 second.
Okay, now let's start. Once you share your screen, I will press the buttons.
Okay, 1 second. Let me just breathe. Okay, let me share it now.
No. No tension, no tension. Calm down, calm down. We're just having fun, okay?
Okay, let's see. Okay, 1 second. So many stuff here. Okay, let me start with first of all, I offer my obeisances to all of the gurus and to my Shiksha Guru, who if not with him, I will not be here today. And also I ask for permission to speak on this matter. Hare Krishna. Let's start with for today's class, we're going to talk about Srimad Bhagavad Gita, the opulence of the truth in chapter 10. For this one, it's going to be the Chaturshloki, verses 8 to 11. And this is instructed by Prabhu Kavikarnapura Dasa and presented by me, yours truly, Niharika. So, 1 second, something popped up in my screen. All right, so this is Prabhu Kavi here, and he gave us like an instruction. So, first one, explain the Chaturshloki, Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is in relationship with the verse from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adilila, verse chapter 7.146, and then the second one is explain which of the verses is related to Sambandha, Abhiteya, and Prayojana. So first, we're going to start with the explanation of the Chaturshloki. So for the Chaturshloki, it has this question that we just read earlier. So what is the relationship of the Chaturshloki and Sambandha Abhideya Prayojananama? So it is in, this one is in the Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. This was shared earlier by Prabhu Kavi in the group chat, so I don't have to explain the meaning of this one. But the importance of what is the relationship of this Chaturshloki is actually knowing the origin of us all, because by knowing the origin of us all, then we can have like Prabhu Kavi, sorry, I don't have the timer on my, no timer.
It's not showing?
Yes, it's not showing, Prabhu.
It's showing on my place. I don't know.
How much time do I have left?
Now 3 minutes.
Wait, 1 second. Let me put timer. Pause, Prabhu Kavi. Please.
Okay, let me pause. Okay. 1 minute.
1 second.
Why is it not share? It's supposed to share, no?
I don't know. It's not showing in my side, on my side, Prabhu. So, oh, it's here now.
Okay. It's
I
going to
have it.
share. Can you
Okay, I
see
have
now?
it, Prabhu. Yes. So let me just do it fast. So
No,
basically,
don't rush. Calm down. Let me start again. Okay, you need time, I will give you time. Let's go.
thank you, Prabhu. So basically, for these 4 verses, so it allows us to actually develop love for Shri Krishna. But first of all, is for for verse 8 is actually showing or giving us like the knowledge that Shri Krishna is the supreme Lord of all the world. So basically, it's Sarvakarna Karanam. He is the cause of all causes, and this is why this is like one of the main bases for us to actually develop love for Shri Krishna. This is where Sambandha Gyan is going to come. And then in this verse, there was a very beautiful example that was given by Srila Prabhupada. He was talking about this this hunter, which was met by Sri Narada Muni. So this hunter was just killing everyone. He was killing, chopping, not everyone, but the animals. But he's not killing it fully. He was just killing. They are half dead, half alive. So they were still in pain. So when Sri Narada Muni saw this one, he was like asking this hunter. He was like, hey, what are you doing? Why are you like not just killing these animals for like completely, so that their suffering will end? So the hunter was saying like, oh, I don't know which one is pious or which is not, and which is sin and which is not. And then Sri Narada Muni was telling him like, okay, so when you do these kind of things, you commit a lot of sins, because this is sin that you are killing these animals. And then the hunter was like, oh, really? This was sin? I didn't know about that one. I have no knowledge with regards to it. This is my business. I'm just doing it because my father taught me how to do this one. And then Sri Narada Muni said was like, okay, this is what you're going to do in order for you to not attain sin for this activities of yours. So you have to stop this business. And then the hunter said like, how can I stop my business? If I'm going to stop my business, I won't be able to live. How can I survive? This is my only means of living. And then Narada Muni said, okay, so for this one, just for you to stop, I will give you and provide you everything that you need for your necessities. And then that was the time when the hunter was initiated by Sri Narada Muni. And then later on at that time, the Sri Narada Muni brought one of his friend, I think, or I'm not sure, I forgot the name. I'm so sorry, but he brought one of his friend to show this devotee that was with him, that like how the hunter transformed. So he was like telling this one, and then Sri Narada Muni was like, oh, see how this devotee of mine has transformed. And then they were like, he was like perplexed, because the devotee was like, walking, jumping, and then he was asking, and Sri Narada Muni asked like, why are you jumping as you coming to us? And then the hunter said like, oh, I'm just avoiding the ants because I didn't want to kill them. So from that, like from killing the animals and to avoiding the ants is like how he was able to develop love for Shri Krishna. And that was like he developed love for all of the the beings in the world. So basically this was the essence of the Chaturshloki, is for us to know and how to love God, and for us to be able to come up with like how can we serve him, how can we like love everyone without excluding any other entities, or being this discrimination with regards to animals and human beings. So that's one thing that was told by Sri Narada Muni and Srila Prabhupada during his lecture. And then I'm going to click on the next one. So for the second for the second assignment that was given by Prabhu Kavi is to set the verses into which they come under. So the 3 stages of spiritual advancement, we have Sambandha Jnana. I chose verse 8 as explained earlier, and then we have Abhideya. So I chose 10 verses 10 and 11 because this one was actually Sri Krishna was telling us to, like, I mean, in the purport and in the verse itself, it was said that it's like a practice and how we can develop love for Shri Krishna and how we can actually show our love towards our practices and how we can do it in our daily lives. So this is why I chose 1 second. This is why I chose verse 10 and 11 for the Abhideya, and Prayojana is verse 9 because it actually struck me because here in verse 9 it says, the thoughts of my pure devotees dwell in me. Their lives are fully devoted to my service, and they derive great satisfaction and bliss from always enlightening one another and conversing about me. So it's like they are always in constant thought with Sri Krishna and in constant activities. Everything that they have or everything that they do, everything that they say is all about Shri Krishna. So basically, this is what Prayojana is. It's to be in always constant thought of Shri Krishna 24/7 and also serving him all the time 24/7. Be here. And there was actually one, I'm sorry, I almost forgot. This is like one of the most beautiful thing that I heard today. It was by H.H. Sri Radhesham Dasa. When I was listening to his lecture, he was telling like in the previous verse, he was saying like, just like a fish cannot survive without water, just like a body cannot survive without food. Similarly, a devotee cannot survive without Shravanam Kirtanam, or chanting and hearing the holy names of the Lord. This is like one of the things that struck me when I was listening lecture when it comes to these Chaturshloki verses. So I just like to share it for everyone. So with this, sorry, my mom. And with this one, I have the conclusion which I got from Srila Prabhupada in one of his classes.
Can you quickly go back to the other best the diagram you showed before? I want to snap it. Sorry, I forgot.
Okay, Prabhu.
Yes. The timer isn't ticking, you know. It's stopped.
Yeah, it was.
No, I use my missing power to stop it. Now it will start ticking again.
Oh,
Go ahead.
Okay,
Go
so
ahead.
for the conclusion, I got it from Srila Prabhupada from one of his classes. So here it says, so we have to know the techniques. Simply by theoretical knowledge, you cannot make any improvement. These are practical example because there is no love for God at the present moment. All these nonsense universal love, fraternity are going to hell. Therefore, we are interested in this Krishna consciousness movement. You have to change your consciousness, make it full with Krishna or God, then everything will be all right. So Hare Krishna, it was from his lecture in January 11, 1967 in New York time. So New York City. Thank you so much, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, thank you very much for going first. We really appreciate that. Thank you. Okay, who wants to go next?
I mean, sir, I'll go next, Prabhu.
Please, in terms of speaking, we should a little bit be more proactive. I mean, we should be thinking, I will go next after this person, so that immediately the person stop and we ask who is going to go next, you just press the button. Because every second we are wasting, is going to bounce on us. Then we will not be able to finish properly. Okay, so let's go.
Because Prabhu would even dare to go next to Mother Niharika.
Okay.
Okay. I will be sharing my screen. I hope you can see it. How do I hide my panel? There it goes. I hope you can see everything. I hope you can see my screen. I will.
We are seeing your screen.
Hide you.
You can see everything. Thank you.
Okay, so I will start now.
Yes.
Okay, so our assignment is to explain the Chaturshloki Gita of Srimad Bhagavad Gita in relation to Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Leela 7.146, where we would learn the 3 stages of spiritual advancement. And after knowing those, we can now categorize the 4 slokas in those 3 stages. Okay, so let's go ahead. So according to the verse 7.146, we have 3 stages, right, in spiritual advancement. So these stages, they form as the culmination of the entire Vedanta philosophy. Why? Because if you read the scriptures, it would be a reoccurring sequence. You would see that there's always a process. There's always a preliminary stage, a practical stage, and the end goal. So these 3 stages you will always see when you read the scriptures. That is why it is the culmination of the entire Vedanta philosophy according to the explanation of the verse. Now, let's go to the 3 stages. Let's not take long. So the first one is Sambandha Jnana, second one is Abhideya, and the third one is Prayojana. So let's first define Sambandha Jnana. Cool. Okay, so that Sambandha Jnana is knowledge of one's relationship. What we mean here is that, you know, when a human being does an activity, when you do not know the goal, of life, then your activities are defeated. It's no use, right? So if you understand the goal of life, then you will know that you will reach the summit, right? For example, if you don't understand why you're here in this world, then why are you even here? What is your purpose? That is why our goal is to inquire about Krishna. So the first step in the first stage in Sambandha Jnana is to inquire. Everything starts with inquiry. So your spiritual advancement starts with inquiry, and then when you ponder, when you ask questions, when you mull over things, it will become knowledge. Okay, so what are these knowledge? So what are these questions really? Like, what are you asking, right? Who you are, right? You ask who God is. What is your purpose here? Why are you here? Why is everything so miserable? You ask those questions, and then eventually, once you contemplate, you gain knowledge. And these knowledge are about yourself, the universe, God, your internal relationship with Him. And that is why we call this stage Sambandha Jnana, because this is the part where you really learn about things that you're curious about, you're inquisitive about. Okay? So now that you've established your relationship with the Supreme Lord, you know now why you need to form and cultivate this relationship with the Lord. You go to the next stage, which is Abhideya. Abhideya is the activity in relation with the Lord. Okay, so here, what do? You have to act in that relationship. You need to perform an action, engage in certain activities to satisfy the Lord. That is the Abhideya stage. Okay, so the next stage is Prayojana. This is the fulfillment of one's human mission. So how can we explain this? You know, when you've executed your prescribed duties, you're done, what will happen, right? You will attain the highest goal of life, which is love of Godhead, right? So that is your end goal, Prayojana, the fulfillment of your human mission, why you're here. So now that we're done describing these 3 stages, we can now just initially conclude that if you do not understand the Vedanta Sutra, in terms of these 3 stages, these 3 principles, then you are simply wasting your time. That's what the verses are telling us. Don't shoot the messenger, I'm just reading. Okay, so let's go to the next part. We're going to connect these 3 stages of spiritual advancement vis-a-vis the Chatur Shloki Gita, the 4 slokas that we were told to categorize. Okay, so we know now the 3 stages. We're going to put each of these verses under these 3 stages, okay? So let's go first with Sambandha Jnana. I was thinking while I was reading this verse, so let's read it first, verse 8. I am the source of all the spiritual and material worlds. Everything emanates from me. The wise who perfectly know this engage in my devotional service and worship me with all their hearts. So what is the key word there that you heard? Know, right? The wise person who perfectly knows Krishna and engages in devotional service to Him and worship Him with all their hearts, they know. Why do they do that? Because they know the opulence and greatness of Krishna. So when you know Krishna's greatness, you will perform devotional service to Krishna in order to worship Him, and you do it with love and devotion. So if you know His opulence, then you will surrender to Krishna. That is what verse 8 is trying to tell us. So if you know Krishna's opulence, so that is why I put verse 8 here in Sambandha Jnana. So you need to have knowledge. You need to have this purest knowledge when it comes to the absolute, because if you don't, then you're just ignorant, right? So let's go to the second stage, Abhideya. What verse did I choose here? So for this second stage, I chose verse 9. Because when you think of, earlier I was saying that in Abhideya, you need to act in that relationship, in your relationship with Krishna. You need to perform something. So when you read verse 9, you will hear from the Sanskrit the words like Mat Chitta, their minds fully engaged in me. Mat Gata Prana, their lives devoted in me. Badayanta Parashparam, preaching among themselves, and Kathayanta, talking. So what do you think about those phrases or words? They're all actions. They're all verbs, right? So when we think of Abhideya, you think of performing something, engaging in certain activities to pleasure or to satisfy the Lord. So for example, like the things that I've listed there, your thoughts must dwell in Krishna. Your life should be devoted to serve him. And you should derive great satisfaction and bliss, enlightening one another about Krishna. And you need to converse with devotees in association with you about Krishna. So these are all actions which serves as something that we do, that we perform in order to really gratify the Lord. Okay, so let's go to the third stage. I put 2 verses in here, verse 10 and verse 11. Okay, so let me explain. For verse 10, the reason why I chose these 2 verses under Prayojana is because when you read verse 10, it says here, to those who are constantly devoted to serving me with love, I give the understanding by which they can come to me. So Krishna is saying that if you constantly devote yourself with pure love to Krishna, serving him, you will understand Krishna, and in that way, you will attain him, you will come to him. So that is the goal, right? So as we all know, the ultimate goal is to really progress and reach Krishna. So when you don't know this, then you are lost, right? So one should know that the goal is Krishna. And when the goal is assigned, then the path is slowly but progressively traversed, and the ultimate goal is achieved. That is why I put this verse here. Okay, verse 10. Now, for verse 11, the reason why I put this under Prayojana is because if you read verse 11, let's read it. So by Krishna's mercy, like a shining lamp of knowledge, he destroys the darkness in our hearts born of ignorance. So meaning, I use here the word nashayami, dispel. So Krishna is dispelling the darkness in our hearts born of ignorance, like a shining lamp of knowledge. And why does he do that? Because according to the purport of this particular verse, 11, if you're a sincere devotee, even if you're not really knowledgeable, if you're not that intelligent, Krishna will aid you. He will give you a lending hand. And why does he do that? Because he knows that you are devoted and you have pure love for him. It shows in your actions. You don't have to tell Krishna. You don't have to tell everyone. Krishna just knows if whatever you're doing, performing for him, is true or sincere. Okay? So that is why I added this. I will read the purport that due to contamination of material association, us devotees or us people, our hearts sometimes gets covered with dust of materialism. But when one engages in devotional service and constantly chants the Hare Krishna mantra, the dust quickly clears and one is elevated to the platform of pure knowledge. The ultimate goal, Krishna, can be attained only by chanting and by devotional service, and not by mental speculation or argument. That is why I added it here, because if you chant Krishna's name, if you perform devotional service with sincerity for him, then he will, by his mercy, he will be like a shining lamp of knowledge that will destroy, that will dispel the darkness in your heart born out of ignorance. Okay? So just to recap, oh no, I ran out of time. Okay? Just to recap, for Sambandha Jnana, I put here 10.8, that Krishna explains all of his opulence and greatness to us, so we will surrender to him and serve him completely. Okay? In Abhideya, I put 10.9, that Krishna explains how we can serve him through thinking about him, associating with devotees, talking about him all the time, enlightening others about him, worshiping him, right? So that's Abhideya, activity in relation with the Lord. You're applying what you learned from the Sambandha Jnana stage, okay? That's practical application, the second stage, Abhideya. Now let's go to the last stage, Prayojana, the fulfillment of one's human mission. So here, Krishna Because you've been engaging in devotional service with love and with sincerity, Krishna will never reciprocate. He will help you out. He will lend you a helping hand. And even if you're not qualified, even if you're not intelligent enough, you're not smart enough to become a devotee, he will help you. And eventually, ultimately, you will reach his abode. Okay? So that is why I chose those verses under the particular stages of spiritual advancement. So hopefully, you learned something. Thank you for listening. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hopefully, you will be able to convince us, not confuse us, that. Yeah, thank you very much. It was a very wonderful presentation. And we have how many minutes more? We have like 15 minutes more, so we can still take one more person. We can take two people, actually, if we stick to time. So who wants to go?
I'll go next, Prabhu. I try.
Okay, please.
Okay, I will explain along directly. So I will explain the verses of related to Sambada and Jhana, Sambada Jhana and Abhidheya and Prayojana. So Sambada Jhana, knowledge of relationship between the Supreme Lord and the living entities. So this Sambada Jhana, it is related to the verse 8 and 11. In verse 8, it is Krishna talking that he is the source of all generation. So his relationship to the living entities, every living being is eternal part of Krishna, eternally dependent on him. One's constitutional position is to serve the lotus feet of the Lord. And verse 11 is Krishna is actually situated in the heart of all living entity. Krishna's light help people to understand him and dispel the darkness of ignorance and elevated themselves to platform of pure knowledge. And so this is related to Sambadhayana, and the next is Abhidheya. So Abhidheya is activities or acting according to that constitutional relationship. So this Abhidheya is related to the verse 9, verse 9. So the devotees meant fully engaged to him, their lives are fully devoted to the service of Krishna. Devotional practice like chanting his names, singing the devotional songs, reading the scriptures like Bhagavad Gita, visiting to the temple, practicing and participating in the festivals like dedicated to him, and cultivating a personal connections connection through prayer and meditation, preaching and distribution books, and enlightening one to another about Krishna. So this is Abhidheya. So the last one is Prayojana. So Prayojana is the ultimate goal of life, to develop love of God. So this Prayojana is related to the verse 10. Always engaged in rendering devotional service constantly and devoted to him, engaged in consistent communication with him, through prayer, expressing gratitude, asking of guidance, and putting God's love in action by serving others. It is a tangible way to express your faith and consciously choosing to obey the God's commandments. Surely you will develop pure love for God. This is the ultimate goal. This is the ultimate goal of life, and it is prayojana. That's it, Prabhu. That's my practice today.
Thank you very much. Thank you for at least presenting, and with your confidence to present. We really appreciate that. It's very important. Okay. Some people may give excuse, okay, but at least you attempt and you presented. Next, want to give?
I'll go, Prabhuji.
Yes, Mother Tripura, please go ahead.
I'll share my screen.
You want to share your screen? So let me wait for you.
Prabhuji.
We have few minutes more. Let's make use of our time. Actually, we are testing, actually what we are testing in you is your understanding, okay? And in your present, it's only in your presentation we can understand, we can see your understanding. It's very, very important, actually. Very, very important. Now I begin to understand how much you understand whatever we are discussing by you doing this presentation. It's very, very important assessment, actually. Please go ahead. Are you there, Mata? You are wasting some time is being gone. Please, let's make use of our time, please.
Yes, Prabhu, please.
Are you starting already? Oh, Mother Tripura, time.
Yes, yes, now, Sita.
Can you hear me?
Can you hear me now?
Now we can
Yes.
hear you now. Please go ahead. Thank you. Oh, network. What happened to our network? Oh, we're not hearing you. We're not hearing you. Can you speak now?
Yes, are you able to hear me now?
Okay, yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay. Bhagavad Gita 10.8 to 11 are often referred to as Chatushloki Bhagavad Gita because these 4 verses captured
Network, what is wrong with you? Oh, Krishna.
the essence of Gita. There is classification of the process of devotion. Someone is operating my screen. Okay. Sambandha Gnana, relationship. It is like the understanding one's relationship with Supreme. Krishna is the source and foundation of everything. Like understanding him establishes our relationship with him. The next category is Abhideya, the means of practice. It is the means of practice. Devotional practices such as chanting, discussing Krishna's glories, and surrendering to him help us to purify the heart and dispel our ignorance and lead us towards a spiritual realization. It is under Abhideya. And the third one is Prayojana. This is under Prayojana because we will be able to achieve our ultimate goal of liberation. It is the ultimate goal, the eternal union with Krishna, which takes place because of the attainment of knowledge, because the knowledge which we attain with our sincere devotional service, that is Prayojana. So, let's look at this next slide. We have that falls under the category of Sambandha because it makes us to realize the Supreme. It makes us understanding what the Supreme Personality is. And in 10.9, Krishna says, Mat Chitta Madgata Pranaha, the blissful activities of pure devotees in Krishna consciousness. That means the activities which we perform, like the chanting, going to the scriptures, chanting reciting the glories of Krishna, his pastimes. This all makes us to understand the Krishna, to engage in the Krishna consciousness, to enjoy the blissful activities in Krishna consciousness. So it falls under the category Abhideya, which is means of practice. Okay, let's look at 10.10. Tesham Satata Yuktanam. Krishna tells, like, he guides sincere devotees from within, who is the devotees who are very sincere towards the devotional service. Krishna guides them. Krishna personally guided them. So that was chanting and glorification of Krishna, reading his pastimes. This all falls into the category of Abhideya, as we discussed earlier. And the last one, 10.11, Krishna says, Tesham evanukam partam. Krishna removes ignorance and provides enlightenment to devotees. Krishna is himself telling, like, I will remove all the ignorance and enlighten you. Even if you are not knowledgeable, even if you are foolish, Krishna will give us that enlightenment. So it falls under the category of prayojana, because prayojana is the ultimate goal. The ultimate goal is realizing Krishna. So let's understand with the classic example. Like I'm taking like an example from the nature. So imagine we are standing at the foot of the mountain, majestic mountain. So we don't know like how to climb the mountain. So a mountain is a metaphor for us, like how to climb. We will have so many questions. We are just wandering here and there. So the attaining the pure love for Krishna, the peak is the Krishna prema. So the map which we follow, the route which we follow to climb the mountain, the path which we follow is the threefold classification: Sambandha, Abhideya, and Prayojana. Let's see. Now the man, like when the path begins, he will like, if suppose at the very start of our journey, we need to know that where we are going and why. This is our relationship with the mountain. So we need to understand like why we are going to into the Krishna consciousness, why we need to understand Krishna consciousness, who is Krishna. So that realization is Sambandha. So when we understand that it is a true home, reaching Krishna, so we will establish that Sambandha Gyan. So the journey unfolds. So when we have that particular clarity when we are about to start our journey, so we'll have a map.
Continue. Don't worry.
So the journey unfolds. Abhideya represents the practices like chanting the holy name, serving Krishna with love, cultivating humility, and many other good aspects make us to just like how we are able to climb the mountain, even after having so many hurdles in climbing the mountain, how we are encountering that situation, difficult situation, and still thriving to climb the mountain. It shows us the Abhideya, practicing Krishna consciousness. Each step we take, each chant we utter brings us closer to the peak. The journey isn't about reaching the top, it's about growing along the way. So the Prayojana, the last peak, the peak which we want to climb, the mountain peak, is Prayojana. The summit awaits. As we ascend, we feel lighter, more at home every step. Like whenever we are about to reach the peak of the mountain, we will feel so closer. And the Prayojana, the goal is breathtaking away from the peak to attain the Krishna prema. So this is just intellectual knowledge or ritual. It's like it is not an intellectual knowledge or something. It is the experience of love. It is the understanding of our love to climb the mountain. The Sambandha, Abhidaya, and Prayojana is a spiritual compass for our journey. Sambandha gives us the direction, and Abhidaya gives us the road which we travel. It's like a road map. And Prayojana is the peak where we are destined to reach. So in a sense, these all three are inseparable and work together to transform us from a wanderer into a lover of Krishna, guiding us to the path of divine devotion. Okay, this is my... Thanks for listening, Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much. You speak with great alacrity. Very nice. Where is the boldness coming from, Mata? Okay, good. Thank you. Very nice. It was a very nice presentation, actually. Okay, who's going next?
I'll go, Prabhu.
Yes, please, Mother Lakshmi. Let's hear you also. I hope you are going to speak with great enthusiasm.
Can you see my screen, Prabhu?
Yes, we are seeing your screen now. Let me start the time. Once you start, I will start the time.
Yeah. Can I start, Prabhu?
Okay, yes.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. So we are discussing about chapter 10, the opulence of the absolute. So there are three: Sambandha, Gnana, and Abhideya and Prayojana. In Sambandha, it means the relationship, and the Abhideya is the duties and the activities, and Prayojana, which is the ultimate goal. I've described here Sambandha and Abhideya and Prayojana in different ways. So let's see the Sambandha, which is Krishna is the ultimate source. In the Sambandha, the S stands for the source, which is he is the source of knowing himself. Then, sorry.
It's okay.
So then A, which is absolute, Krishna existence is independent and eternal beyond conditions or limitations. So he's the Parabrahma, which is supreme truth. M stands for the manifestation. The entire cosmos and all living entities or manifestations of Krishna's energy, both material and spiritual. And B stands for the basis, which is Krishna is the foundation of all existence and supporting and sustaining in the universe. And A stands for the all pervading, which presence is everywhere and both immanent in creation and transcendent beyond it. And in Sambandha, N stands for the non-dual, and he transcends the dualities of material nature, which is good or evil, or light or darkness, and it is ultimate unity of reality. So D stands for the divine, which is Krishna's nature is supremely holy and scared, and being the forehanded of all the divinity. And lastly, H is stands for the harmony, which is orchestrates the balance of Krishna's and order in the universe, ensuring the cosmic and the spiritual equilibrium. And let's move to the Abhideya, which we do the activities and duties. I've choose the 10.9 verse. The wise knowing me as the ultimate goal, worship me with devotion and their minds fixed on me. So this verse describes the activities, which is Abhideya or duties, emphasizing the devotion, which is Bhakti and focusing on the Krishna. So we'll divide this one. It states A, which is adoration, which we worship the Krishna with love and reverence through rules and prayers and glorification. And B stands for the Bhakti, the central activity and cultivating unconditional and loving devotion towards the Krishna. And H stands for the humility, which we recognize one dependence on the Krishna and surrendering less and ego on in his service. And I stands for the introspection, which is meditating on Krishna's form, qualities, and pastimes, fostering a deeper into the inner conceptions. D stands for the dedication, which engages in the Krishna's service wholeheartedly enough through daily actions and offerings and commitments. H stands for the heartfelt, developing a sincere and emotional bond with Krishna, making devotion genuine and transformation. And inquiry stands for inquiry, which is studying scriptures like the Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam to understand the Krishna's teachings and deepen devotion. Y stands for the yoga, which practice devotional yoga, bhakti yoga, untying the mind and body and soul with the Krishna through spiritual practices. And finally, A stands for the awareness, which maintaining constant mindfulness of Krishna's presence in all aspects of life, aligning thoughts and actions with his will. So these activities reflects how a devotee actively deepens their relation with Krishna. Following the principle Abhideya describes means of spiritual practice in Vedic theology. And we go to the Prayojana. So I choose the 10.11 verse because it encapsulates the ultimate goal of life as a thought in the Bhakti tradition, attaining love and union with Krishna. We'll discuss each element represents a facet of spiritual fulfillment. So we start with the P, which is perfection. According to the perfection, we achieving the spiritual maturity and completeness through devotion to the Krishna. R stands to the realization, gaining a deep understanding of Krishna's true nature as a supreme being and the soul's eternal relationship with him. And A stands for the attainment, which reaching the ultimate goal, union with the Krishna marked by pure and selfless love, which is prema. And Y stands for yoga, establishing an eternal connection with Krishna and where the soul is fully absorbed in his service. So O stands for oneness, which is not losing individuality but harmonizing it completely with Krishna's will. Achintya Bheda Abheda Tatya. So J stands for the joy, and experiencing divining bliss, Ananda, is the loving form of relationship with Krishna. So A stands for the Sorry, something popped up. A stands for the awareness, which is living in eternal consciousness of Krishna, free from material illusions. Sorry.
Thank you.
Yes, it's still there, Prabhuji.
So continue. If you have more.
Well,
Is
we
that
are
all?
talking about the joy. No, Prabhuji. Experiencing divining bliss, which is Ananda, is the loving.
We have in total 3 minutes more.
Yeah, Prabhuji. Awareness, which is living in eternal consciousness of Krishna, free from material illusions. N stands for the nirvana, attaining liberation from the cycle of birth and death, not as end but as a beginning of eternal service to the Krishna. And finally, A stands for the Ananda, immersing in divine happiness, the nature states of the soul in the Krishna's loving presence. So Prayojana represents the culmination of the spiritual journey, eternal loving communion with Krishna, filled with bliss and freedom from material bondage. So that's it. Thank you.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Mother Lakshmi took us to another realm. You have done so much hard work, giving meanings to those alphabets. Krishna. Only Krishna knows how much hard work you have done to give. You really need to think a lot for you to give different meanings to those. Oh, Krishna, well done. Bravo, bravo, bravo. Well done. Thank you very much, okay? We really appreciate your hard work. We are not talking about the work now, but we are appreciating your hard work, okay? Thank you very much for putting so much hard work. Hard work pays sometime, okay? Thank you very much. It's very impressive how much time you have given to giving so much meaning to those alphabets. Thank you. Hare Krishna. So we continue from where we stopped today. I will not say anything about all of your presentation now. We are not giving any feedback. I'm just saying thank you to every one of you who have presented. Thank you for the hard work we have put to present today. I really appreciate your hard work. Mother Nyarika Satin, the Osho, and then Mother Niki, and Mother Tripura, and Mother Lakshmi, and Mother Angel. Thank you all for the hard work you put for you to be able to present today. We really appreciate, okay? So we will continue from where we stop tomorrow because time is not our friend. That is why I'm always emphasizing from beginning. Time is not our friend. Time is not our friend. Let's be on time. Let's be on time. Now you understand what I mean now. Now we cannot do anything again. Now we just have to stop because it's already 7:35. See? So we continue from where we stop tomorrow. Thank you very much, everyone.